Welcome back to our Falcon Foodies edition of WBGU Cooks. With me now is a member of our PBS family, producer-director Joe Goodman. Joe is going to be making some delicious broccoli tacos for us. Welcome, Joe.
Well, thank you, Tina. Appreciate it.
You're usually behind the camera,
Yep.
and we dragged you out today, and you're going to show us how to make broccoli tacos.
All right, so we've prepped nicely all our ingredients so we can kind of breeze through this. But the first thing we're going to do is take these nice chopped up broccoli florets, put them in our
So is that like a head of broccoli? Is it a couple?
Oh, it was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the key when chopping up this broccoli is to make sure you just sort of have a uniform size. You want to try and take the stems down as much so that it cooks evenly. That's the hardest part to cook. Obviously, the edges will start to brown and crisp faster. But that is good. This is a part of the dish that we actually want to kind of darken up. We want to blacken it up a little bit.
And fresh is best.
Fresh is the only way.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, Joe, you're from New York.
Yes.
Is that where you get your cooking expertise? Have you always been interested? Because you're always talking about cooking and dishes, and I know you're really interested in.
Well, it is my favorite hobby.
Okay.
Because there's no better hobby than the one that you get to enjoy and eat after the fact.
That is
so
true.
a little oregano, a little salt, we'll add a little cumin on top. Now, I've never been big on measuring. That's the other reason I like cooking.
Yes.
As opposed to baking.
But you don't have to. You can
eyeball. You can have some fun.
Now,
like, oh, we'll just sprinkle some
baking is a little different. But
that's why I don't do it.
When you cook, you can, and that's why I try to tell people, just try it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's all about experimenting.
Yes.
Worst case, you get one bad dish.
Yeah.
Then you know what you want to change and you try it again.
That's right. Yep.
It's a lot of fun. A little chipotle pepper here. Be careful with this one. It does have some heat, but it gives it a lovely smoky flavor.
So have you always been cooking then? Did you just all of a sudden one day say, I want to feed myself, so I'm going to learn how to cook?
Well, it's a twofold thing. One, at one point in college, I did work as a short order cook at Denny's.
Oh.
So actually a little bit of that.
And you decided
black
I don't
pepper
want to
too.
do that?
Well, it got me skills. What that got me is skills, in particular the ability to make 400 eggs in about 6 minutes.
Oh.
But you know, those breakfast rushes can be intense. But it just got me skills. And then when I was still living in the city and doing all that stuff, you had to feed yourself. So I would do simple stuff. It sort of went in ebbs and flows. I would get those frozen pizzas and then I would top it with extra stuff, make it something special.
Yep.
And then I met my wife, my now wife, and I wanted to impress her.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I started cooking dishes to impress her. And then I wanted to keep her. So I kept cooking dishes to impress her. And it's just grown from there, and I just really enjoy it. There we go. We'll throw that in the oven.
Now that's at 400 and...
Yep. 400, and that'll take 30 minutes or so.
Okay, so we got our broccoli. And you know what? This would be good for a meatless Monday.
That's exactly the idea. A lot of people get uncomfortable with the idea, or they think they won't be full, or they won't be satisfied, and we are here today to remove that doubt from people's minds, because this is the dish that actually got us eating a lot of vegetarian. We're not purely vegetarian. We're what I like to call a meat reductionist. We just try and eat less meat. And
Which
so
we all could do.
Exactly. It's good for your body. It's good for the earth. Everybody's happy. So we got a little olive oil in the pan. We had this preheating. We'll get some chopped yellow onion in.
So are you know the knife skills and everything? You're good at the knife and
Still got them all.
That's good. So how long are we going to cook the...
Well, we just want to sweat these onions for a little bit. They're starting to get a little bit of color. Starting to get a little translucent. And because they're going to cook down for a while with the beans, we don't necessarily have to take them as far as we would if this was it.
Okay.
So, in the essence of time, we will just move on, get a little garlic in there.
So is that like a couple cloves of garlic?
Yeah, I put 2 in here. You can put as many as you want.
To your taste, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we have the garlic going for about a minute. Ooh, smells real good. So let's get the beans in. This is just a can of black beans that we drained and rinsed.
And you're actually cooking those down and smashing them up a little bit, you said.
Once we get the liquid in.
Sometimes you just put the beans on, on the tacos.
Well, the idea being, once we get this here veggie stock in, and we let it kind of go, that's a little...
And you're just about covering everything, it looks like.
Yep. Never, again, we don't measure here.
It was fun. We actually did a team building with our staff, and we'll meet one of the chefs, and we did a cooking thing with our team, and I thought that was fun to see. Some people have never been in the kitchen, and some people, as like yourself, were able to just run with it, and so I think everybody learned something from it.
And we made it out with all our appendages.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt.
And
everything was
good,
edible.
and it was good food. It was good food.
And actually, to that end, it inspired me.
Oh.
Because we made fresh tortillas, and I had never done that before.
Yeah.
So I started doing it.
Which were very simple. I mean,
So
it seems
simple.
like, oh.
So I bought a tortilla press myself, and I pressed these out this morning. Real simple. All you need is to get masa harina, which is just basically corn flour, but there's a process behind it.
But you can get it in...
Super easy to get. It's in the Kroger. No worries there. And all it takes is a little bit of salt and some water. You just mix it until you get sort of a soft, wet dough. It shouldn't be sticky or falling apart wet, but it should
like
have a...
Play-Doh, maybe?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Play-Doh is the right consistency. So we're gonna just...
And we actually cooked those up, and they were good. What I'm learning is, you always think, oh, I got to do quick and easy, I'll go the frozen, but really fresh is...
It's better, and it doesn't take long
It is
at all.
simpler. I mean, it's not like you think it is. So
No.
just like that, I thought, oh, it's just a couple ingredients.
I whipped this out this morning while I was drinking my coffee. Really took no time at all. All right, so now that the beans are kind of getting a nice rolling boil going, we're just going to take our wooden spoon here. We're going to take some of those beans, just push them up against the side, crush them up a little bit. Now, what that'll lead us to is a little bit more of a thicker texture in the end. You know, you don't want to crush them all. You still want to see those beans in there, but...
So is this kind of a part of the base, or...?
So what this will end up being is sort of like a bean paste that we're going to layer in first.
Got it.
And that is going to be your protein of the dish. That's going to be like kind of the real thick base of it all, yeah. So with this rolling, I'm going to put a little spicing in. So for the beans, we're going to go kind of consistent with what we did with the broccoli. We're going to add in some cumin. Now, I'm not actually measuring. I'm just trying to make it easier. No measurements here. Boom. A little bit of oregano, because this stuff can go a long way. And then a good amount of chipotle. Not too much, because I know you don't like the spice.
I'm stepping out of my box here.
Oh, good. Then we're going to dump it in.
I don't know about that. So
Again,
how long are we going to cook the tortillas?
Well, the beauty here is that it's pretty hard to screw up.
And
So
you just,
about a couple seconds, depending on how you want to do it. You want maybe 10 seconds on the first side just to give it a little bit of a coat, and then flip it.
and you put a little
about a
olive
minute or
oil
so.
in there to coat.
You don't have to, no.
Nothing? Okay.
You can. Mind you can. You most certainly can. It gives you a little bit more of a greasier texture, which is not bad.
Yeah.
A lot of
It is
different ways
nice.
to do it.
Those are nice sizes. Those street tacos are now a thing, and you know, it just lets you decide how much taco you want to have versus the bigger.
You can get as many as you want. You get a 3-bite taco and just keep ordering until you're full.
It smells wonderful.
Oh,
We're still cooking our broccoli.
Broccoli's going well. We really want to see some blackening on that. We want it to crisp up, real crunchy, because that's going to be the crunch in here. All right, another guy ready to go.
And you cook those for?
Oh, a minute or two on each side. Beans are getting real close. You can tell when you're getting close as the liquid in will start to pool on the top, and you'll see less and less and less until it's just a little bit is left. Because
Boy, that really did thicken
don't
up.
want too much moisture in there. Once it gets just a little bit less moisture in there, we're going to add our apple cider vinegar. In the meantime, let's take a look at how the broccoli's doing. That's looking charred up.
Oh, that's good.
Dump all this out on our big old cutting board. I'm going to take this cutting board home if it's all right with you.
Wow,
Look at that.
that looks really good.
Now,
Nice
before we get too far along, we
black
should make sure
Oh yeah, you definitely
our seasoning's right. Use a little bit. Add a little more in. Just make sure it's...
Never have enough of that stuff.
No, nice and flavorful, and then we're just going to run our knife through it. You know, this doesn't require anything too much, just kind of breaking up those big chunks. So, those beans are there, just a little bit of moisture, so now we're going to add in our apple cider vinegar. How much you say? No problem. I'm going 2 capfuls.
Okay, well at least that's a measurement, right?
Standardized. Mix it in. We'll let it go down just a little bit to reduce that vinegar. Because again, we don't want sloppy beans coming falling out of your tortilla.
No, definitely
They
not.
got to be cohesive. We'll let that go a little bit.
So how do you like being in front of the camera instead of behind the camera?
Today's my day.
Since you're cooking.
From here, the world. Oh, I don't mind it at all. I like every aspect of this business.
Yeah, that's good, right?
So, while those beans take one last spin around, we're gonna get into our toppings. So, what we have here is some red onion, just diced, nice and fine. A little cilantro, also diced. Some extra sharp cheddar. You can use anything you want. You can use cotija, like any of the Mexican cheeses as well. They're quite lovely, but I have a special affinity for cheddar. And a little avocado, because who doesn't like avocado?
And we're going to learn how to cut an avocado.
Just cutting under the little dimple all the way around. Use your knife. Hopefully it'll come apart. If not, boom. Twist it open. There she is. Oh, if you're curious on how to remove the seed, I'll do the extra safe way, not the way I might actually do it. Boom. Just right in. Twist. Comes right out. Boom.
Simple enough.
Yep.
It just looks scary. You go into the store. Now, when you go into the store, how do you pick an avocado?
Sure. It's all about color and softness. So this being true for Hass avocados, the most common kind you see is these Hass avocados. You're looking for the darker color, and then you're just looking for a little bit of give. A little bit of give.
Got it. Yep. Got
You know,
it.
if there's no give, you know it needs some time. If it's super squishy, that's missed its moment. Unfortunately, avocados are very temperamental. So you're like, oh, well, I'll just let this age a little bit on the counter. It'll be fine. And then it's done. Next thing you know, it's already
even
rotted.
when you make guacamole and you don't eat it right away.
Oh, well, what that is just oxidation.
Yep.
And a good way to counter that is with citrus. So if I want to preserve this also, I can take a bit of my lime, put it on the edges there, and it'll prevent browning to some degree. I mean, it's not foolproof. So give that guy a flip, and I think we're just about ready to plate one for you.
Okay.
Right after we taste these guys, gotta make sure we seasoned, because we still haven't put our salt in here. We can't forget that. Every once in a while when I'm rushing.
You forget the salt.
Good stuff in there.
And try not to burn your tongue at the same time.
Yep. Always gotta, give it a couple breaths.
That turned out really nice.
Yeah.
Started out with what, just beans and...
Beans, garlic, onions, a little seasoning. And also, once it cools down, it does congeal a little bit. So that's why you do want to leave some of that moisture in there. We'll give you one fresh out the pan. All right, start with a little cheese. Then we will go to just a bit of the beans. We want to be gentle. Because these are the small little taco shells. We can't put you too much in there.
It's hard to not fill it.
Right.
Oh, this is
I
going
want to find you the real
This
crispy
is going to
stuff.
be
There
so
it is.
yummy.
Boom. Little sprinkle of the red onion.
And normally you would probably have some kind of salsa.
Normally we would throw
pico.
some salsa on there, but I know you don't tend to love
Well,
the spice.
plus with me trying to eat it on camera.
Yeah, I didn't want anything making you go, "Ooh."
Or messy.
Yes.
I was thinking messy.
A little cilantro on top.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. This is the best part about being a cooking show host.
Isn't it?
Yes.
This is why I want your job. So just to squeeze it a lime and go to town.
Okay. Look how cute this is. Such a cute little taco. I'm sold. That is very good.
See, it's not that hard to cook vegetarian.
No, it isn't. It doesn't. I wouldn't even say it tastes like vegetarian.
Still flavorful, very filling.
Very great. Good.
And nutritious.
And you can add whatever you want on.
You can put anything you want on. You can put a steak on it. Who knows?
Well, thanks, Joe, for cooking with us today. We'll be right back with another Falcon Chef. Stick around.